That's right. We're back. Season 2. Let's go! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pucked Up Podcast, Season 2. I hope you guys like all the new layouts, the new logo. Shout out to Danger with the new logo.
Yeah,
the new intro video, the new background, everything, guys. It's clean, it's fresh, it's new.
All new except for us. We've only gotten older.
Same old us, all new everything else.
We lasted the summer. I don't know how we did it, but I don't
know if we lasted the summer. I'm drinking a pretty big something or other here.
Dude,
so...
you're going, yeah, that's a big glass.
It's a big ass glass.
But for those of you that are new around here, I am Chris. Joined with me, as always, are two of my favorite ladies, Danger and Dee. You guys, the Mother Puckers are back. It's time.
We're back.
How did you guys struggle through the off season?
I cried a lot. Rolled over
for unrelated reasons or for hockey related
well, that too. Yeah.
Bit of both.
Off season, like, you know, is what it is. I thought about hockey quite a bit.
Did anyone else boycott watching the draft? Because I fucking did.
I didn't boycott it intentionally, but I did not watch it because I do agree. I think it's bullshit that Columbus, that what's that town name? Chicago.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just gets gifted the first overall pick.
Well, and we talked about it last season, and it's more than just the fact that it should have gone to fucking Anaheim for how shitty
they
were.
Literally,
but
the worst.
Yeah, like the absolute fucking worst.
Yeah,
But it's also, I'm still upset about what Chicago was able to get away with. With Kyle Beach and everything surrounding that situation and just the organization in general. So, I was pretty upset with it on multiple fronts. Still am. I mean, I literally was talking to someone about it like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. Like, still upset about it.
I was.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the off season was good and bad. Like I'm super excited for Leo Carlson. I think he's going to be a great addition to that young team. Because Anaheim's young as shit, and we got some nice veteran presence.
Must be nice.
Listen. The only thing I was worried about this summer in the off season was watching my favorite Premier Lacrosse League team just win a fucking championship. Shout out to Archers Lacrosse Club. I have bragging rights in my house for the whole year.
All right, we're gonna shut that down.
Yeah,
I'm just there.
She's like, your happiness is here in sports. We're a week away from it going here.
You're a fucking Anaheim fan. You need to take that down real quick. Here.
All I know is
I love the Ducks. Don't get me wrong.
We can't do any worse than we did last year.
Hey,
we finished worse. We finished worse than everyone. So like the bar can only go higher.
I'm sure you could finish worse.
Oh, we probably could lose more games.
Ways. You could lose more.
There are ways to do worse than you did.
Oh
no,
God.
But on a real note, the off season was actually kind of nice. Even though we didn't make because we didn't make the playoffs, we actually got to see a bunch of our boys get healthy. For the Caps.
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of a weird thing. Like, as much as I missed hockey, I was super happy to see the progress from boys like Backy and Carlson and Wilson in their recovery efforts. So hopefully that means that they'll do fucking well and not fall apart as soon as the wind blows.
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
And what was the Wild's off season like?
It was a decent amount of changes. I just remember, there was the every week it was like waiting for the updates on, who we're re-signing, who can't, we still are dealing with the cap bullshit. Which, finances.
That was such a fucking thing.
I think this is finally the last of the year, or the last year of it.
From that abysmal trade y'all made a couple years back?
Yeah. And so, it was just a lot of interesting. We've got a lot of, young talent. I don't think we've completely whittled the team down yet.
No.
But we're coming close to, making all the final cuts.
And do you guys still have the dead cap from the Parise and
Suter?
Oh my God, that's not.
You guys
what I
still
thought
have the dead cap?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
For how much longer?
But like I said, I think. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure this is the last year of it.
God, they were great when they signed them, but fuck, was that a bad contract?
It was a great decision to make then, but it went far too long. I mean, fucking Parisi's playing for Arizona this year.
But like, they also dug themselves into a hole because they couldn't afford to pay anyone else. So you literally just had Parise and Suter doing everything.
Yeah.
And you guys struggled.
Like we couldn't afford Dumba, and that was a really
hard loss.
Hard and sad to see Dumba.
Yeah, I didn't like to see that one. That one kind of.
I didn't either. That one hurt.
That one hurt a lot.
Even as just like a casual fan, that one hurt me.
Yeah. And he loved being here. We did just re-sign Zuccarello for 2 more years and Foligno for 4, which I'm super excited about. There is some tension, worry, whatever word you want to pick for Hartman, because Hartman also needs to be re-signed, and they're worried that we won't have enough money. But like, we've got him through, the end of the year at least, and hopefully by then that cap space opens up and we can afford it, because Hartman's a great asset to our team too.
Well,
I hate to lose any of those guys.
That was my worry, because up until literally like fucking yesterday, Zegras wasn't even signed.
Yeah,
which
he was an RFA for the entire fucking offseason.
I just want to brag about myself for a second that I'm the one that told Chris that Zegras are signed.
Yeah.
And he was like, I had no idea. That's news to me. And I was like, yes,
literally nothing was reported. I got no updates on anything.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that one was just a shock. Like,
he was an RFA the whole summer.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
and I don't know if he was holding out for like a better deal, or like waiting to see what other offers would come through.
I don't think he was holding out. I think they were holding out.
I think what's happening now, and I think if you look at, and we'll obviously get into all the re-signs and stuff, but like the Austin Matthews contract was relatively short length. I think we're seeing a change in contract structure by these top players. They're shorter deals because, let's say 3 years from now, when Z's contract is up next and he goes fucking off and has like 100 points, guess what? He's now like, all right, I'm still young enough. Fucking pay me.
Yeah,
I think
which
also,
is fair,
though,
and that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a fact that, because we're still seeing 8x8 contracts, like those have not gone away completely. Yeah. I think the other part of it too is that we're also seeing teams really reassess who they want to be their focal point.
Right.
So
yeah, you can't sign everyone
teams that are like, we're not ready to have Zegras be the guy that stays in Anaheim and we retire his jersey, because I think that there was still some disappointment from last season due to his play.
Well, and
so
that's
for
the
that,
whole
they're
team
like, we're
in
going to
general,
hold out, we're going to hedge it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think with Austin Matthews, even though he's an incredible force to be reckoned with, I think that the Maple Leafs as an organization have a lot of fucking work to do on a lot of different things.
Yeah, I feel like the Matthews thing. I feel like the Matthews thing is more of, I don't know how long he wants to be locked into Toronto because they can't get through the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
Like,
that's a different issue. Right.
Yeah, but at least Minnesota doesn't like become one of the top teams in their division and just implode.
Right.
Like, Minnesota is a very difficult team in the playoffs.
Feel like we do every year?
Not in the same spectacular way.
No, like,
but not number
we
one.
implode because of injuries and other issues.
And like, you guys could have moved on.
The team just forgetting how to fucking play hockey for a living. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
like, you guys could have moved on. But it's nothing's more spectacular in the postseason than knowing that the Maple Leafs are just gonna faceplant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so did the Bruins, to be fair, this year.
I was surprised, and we'll talk about it in a bit, too, but I was surprised to see Ryan O'Reilly leave the Maple Leafs.
I wasn't. I don't know. It didn't work out there. He didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And it was a loan. Yeah, it was a loan.
They made a lot of changes. Yeah.
That was the biggest thing
he went to fucking Austin? Where did he go? I don't remember.
One of us has it. I think it's you.
Yeah, I think I do.
But like the biggest thing, and I understand.
Oh, Nashville. He went to the Preds.
Oh yeah,
he's still in our fucking division.
But I understand why they made the move. Like St. Louis knew that he wasn't going to resign. So when
Which I think that stopped me more than anything was him not resigning with St. Louis because he had been there for so long.
Yeah, and I mean the fucking the Blackhawks did the same thing with Patrick Kane. Like if you know you're not going to resign these guys, at least get something for them.
That one still kind of tells me that he's like unaffiliated right now. There's a couple places I wouldn't mind seeing him. Again, I'm just disappointed in the Chicago organization for hanging him out to dry like that when he was the face of their organization for so long.
He won them championships. He was their captain.
He's been in there since he drafted in 2007.
Yeah. And so that, again, another reason why I didn't want to.
That's a dick thing to do. It's such a dick thing to do.
It is. It's a dick thing to do. And I think I also have a perspective on it of like, my organization has heavily invested in quite a few people, most notably in the off season. Like the rumors are flying every other day about Tom Wilson getting traded to this team or that team or every team in the fucking
that I think
league
is just people that
was
enjoy
rumored.
fucking stirring the pot.
Well, no, like it was like legit reporters being like,
there was rumors that they were talking, but from what I heard, it was just talking and nothing like major is going to come of it.
No, our GM came out and was like, I don't know where these even originated from. We have never considered trading Tom Wilson.
Yeah, so it might have been other teams trying to find people. Like, would you do this for Tom? Yeah, I can see that happening more than like the Caps actually seeking out from other teams.
No, because he committed. He was like, Tom Wilson will be your next team captain. Basically. Like after Ovi retires, it's all but Tom's position. I mean, barring something insane happening. It's up to him to take it. Sense. So I like if he were to have gotten moved, even though like I love Wilson, he is not my number one player on the Caps. I do have his jersey. I do love him. But I would have been devastated in a way that would have been, I don't even know how to like describe it. And I think that a lot of teams feel that way. And I can only imagine how Chicago's fans must have felt after seeing Kane get done the way he did.
It's like
I can't imagine doing that.
And Taves. They were just like, we're not going to re-sign you. It's like these guys won that city 3 Stanley Cups in 5 years.
This is why when people give me shit about being like, I fucking pray for goddamn Bedard, because that's the organization he's walking into.
They're going to ruin
they're
that
doing
kid.
That this year.
That kid is going to light it up.
He's going to do incredible. I'm not saying he's not going to do a good job. He's going to do an incredible job. But that organization, who is currently running that organization, I should say, has no fucking loyalty.
No.
And that is devastating for a young player that's going to invest his body into this fucking organization. That's the part that pisses me off. That's the part that gets me upset. And it's not that I don't think he will flourish on the ice. I think he will. I think what's going to drag him down is the organization. And that's where we're going to see him start to potentially, which we've heard from other players in the past, such as, not to keep talking about my own team, but Yevgeny Kuznetsov wanted to leave. He confirmed it over the summer because he was done with the organization, mostly because of Peter Laviolette. And so if we see that happen to Bedard, like we're seeing that happen to the next Wayne Gretzky, the next Alex Ovechkin. That's what that organization is going to do to that kid. And that is fucked up. That Bettman, for the like theatrics or whatever, for whatever stupid fucking reason, he decided to give Chicago the goddamn pick. That's really unfortunate for the league.
I'm just saying, Bedard would have looked great in black and orange.
He would have. I agree.
And it would have worked.
I would have been so happy for Connor to go to Yale. I genuinely would have.
But that being said, like, I'm so excited for Leo and what Leo Carlsson's going to bring to that team. The kid's a fucking stud. So, but speaking of black marks on teams, do we want to talk about Mike Babcock?
Well, I think we're going to talk about that when we if we want to jump into some updates, then I guess we'll talk about the coaching on the league. So can I just say, I love it when I'm right. I really fucking do.
Dude, he lasted 2 weeks.
I love it so much when I'm fucking right. I said at the end of last season that Mike Babcock was not going to fucking last, that it was very clear that his apology tour was bullshit, that he meant none of it, that he had made no actual progress to being a different fucking person.
Right.
And here we see, before preseason even starts, they haven't even had a fucking game yet. They're not even out of training.
They weren't even through OTAs. They weren't even through OTAs, and he resigned.
Yes. And he had to resign, and before I see anyone in the goddamn comments coming at me being like, it's really not that big of a deal. It is, and let me tell you why.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a really big deal for a coach to tell a player that he needs to pair his phone, his device, to a TV and share images. We all have our cell phones, and we all know what's on them. I know that I do not let people scroll to the next picture on my phone because I don't know what they're going to see.
Yeah. You keep scrolling, you may see something that you're not going to like.
Right. But aside from that, we all have notifications coming in on our phone all the time. I was driving to Atlanta over the summer, and I had to mute Discord because I kept getting notifications from Cock Nugget in my Discord, and my car was reading it out loud. Okay. Now I was with a group of people who thought it was fucking funny. So it was fine because those were my friends. But can you imagine if I am in a business fucking meeting, my boss requires me to link my phone to the TV, and I get a message from Cock Nugget? Or heaven forbid you get a Tinder or Grindr notification.
Right.
Oh yeah. Or they just look at our Discord server in general.
Right. But like the thing is, you can't ask that of a player. Now, he had people come out and be like, hey, like, what was it, Boone Jenner or whatever the fuck his name is? Came out and was like, I don't see a problem with it. Well, of course you don't. And do you want to know why? Because you were the Mitch Marner in that situation. He did to Mitch Marner the same thing he did to you, where he was like, hey, bud, you're a future star. I just want to get to know you a little bit. He treated you nicer.
Right.
And then he used that against his other teammates. So I'm sure when someone was like, do I have to? He was like, well, your captain did.
Yeah.
And if he did, why won't you?
But not only that, like,
and there's no reason for him to need to have access that way.
No.
None whatsoever.
No.
There's no reason to have access to your players.
You don't need a picture. You can say, hey, if you want to share a picture, please feel free. If you want to just tell me about something cool you did over the summer, please feel free. But he did it in the most weirdly invasive way.
But let's be real. This isn't the first issue that Mike Babcock has had. Like, Mike Babcock has a laundry list of fucking like complaints against him and like super sketchy behavior as a coach. There's a reason he wasn't coaching last season.
Mm-hmm.
And it had zero to do with availability or best available options.
Well, and that's why I'm irritated with the general manager for the Columbus Blue Jackets, because you signed that man knowing
that he was bringing baggage.
You felt that it was okay to put your players in that position to potentially have a man who has not changed, has not really presented any
unless he can prove
remorse.
that like he made an effort to be a different person.
Right.
You know, because like fine, everybody can change, but can he? You know what I mean? Like,
well, and judging by the way former players that were like traumatized by that man still talk about him, they were not offered any kind of meaningful apology. That's not to say that Mike didn't apologize. Obviously, I wouldn't fucking know that. I am not involved in that situation in any way. But his apology was not enough for the players to accept it and be like, you know what? I believe him. Let's move on from this. No, they're all still shit talking him.
Yeah.
So clearly he hasn't changed.
Right.
Right.
No, and it's very obvious. If 2 weeks into the actual 2023-2024 season, this man willingly resigns.
Yeah.
Let's be real, the play on the ice for Columbus wasn't the only problem they were going to have this season.
Let's also be clear about that. The media spun it as he resigned, but he resigned amid an NHLPA investigation.
He was voluntold that you're not coaching anymore.
There were some serious systemic issues, which to me goes beyond just looking at a person's phone, by the way, but that's all alleged because there haven't been full reports on that. On that investigation.
Right.
So he did not resign. He was forced to resign. And I think we need to frame it that way so that it doesn't get spun into this narrative where 3 years from now, he can try and come back and be like, well, I realized it was still a mistake. And so I did the right thing. No, but you were told.
No.
You were voluntold that you aren't coaching
like when
anymore.
you get pulled in. It's like when you get pulled in and they go, well, we'll give you the opportunity to resign. So like it looks better on your resume, you know?
Right.
Right.
But yeah.
Even though you're very publicly resigning, and good luck finding a fucking coaching job anywhere.
Oh,
like,
there is not a chance in hell that he coaches in the NHL ever again.
No,
I would be shocked.
Not say that. I would never say that, because some other team is going to be fucking dumb enough.
Yeah.
Some other team is going to be dumb enough.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope this is enough.
Well, you would hope that Bettman would step in, or the NHLPA would step in and be like, hey, clearly he has a track record of this, but it hasn't happened yet. And so until we see any kind of commitment that they're like, you know what, I think it's time that he's done, I'm not counting him out for a comeback, unfortunately. And I don't like saying that, but
I wouldn't be surprised if after this time around, if a team in the future does look for Babcock as a coach, if the NHL is not just like, hey, just so you know.
Well, see, the thing is, and one of the reasons why I feel so strongly that we will see him again is because, and the reason why I was like, fuck you in the comments if you're going to say this, on Twitter, we saw the discourse of people being like, why are they so upset? He shouldn't have had to resign for that.
He shouldn't have had to ask for that fucking information.
It's
the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was the very last straw of a million other things that he's done too.
But all I'm saying is that was the public perception on Twitter.
Yeah.
So he still has fucking fans. He still has fanboys, people willing to ride that dick for whatever reason. And so because of that, I think that the league will be like, well, the last time it was talked about, there was still people were still on his side. So I think we can give him another chance.
I would hope
because
that
it wasn't an all-out
but I would hope too that
you
the
hope
NHL
too much.
wouldn't put players in that position. Like, you have to look at it that way too, because at some point players are going to start saying, "Fuck this, I'm not going to play for him."
Yeah.
And then it's going to come down to another fucking strike of the NHL, or something like that.
So if that's the case, that means the NHLPA is going to step in. And when the Players Association steps in, that's going to be when we see the league take a hard stance.
But that's what I'm saying is I think he will be announced as a coach. Whether or not he gets to ever actually coach is a different story, because I think he will be announced, and I think we'll start this conversation again.
Well, Coyotes, I mean...
I was literally going to say Arizona is the next up.
The dumpster fire of the NHL. With the dumpster fire coach. Like, all respect to Coyotes fans. Like, I want you guys to realize we're not...
6 of you.
The 6 of you that show up to the 8,000 seat arena that's mostly full of away team fans.
To the Mullet Arena.
Like, all due respect to the Coyotes, listen, the fact that your state doesn't even want your fucking team, that's heartbreaking, and I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
We're not shitting on your team, we're just being honest. They are... it's such an unfortunate situation.
Of, legit players that I enjoy watching play hockey that are this year going to play for Arizona.
Arizona has some decent talent.
Yeah.
But it's just
again, talk about systemic issues though. That's an organization that has systemic issues.
They need to sell the team and let somebody else who cares run that team.
You think they're going to bring it back to Atlanta?
No, because they've tried
another franchise?
They've tried two other times.
They've tried 2 times before. We're talking about Atlanta getting another team.
I think it's going to be
getting a team when they have failed twice.
If they move a team, I feel like it's going to be like they're going to put another team in Texas, which the Austin area, Houston, that's a solid spot. The fans, the Dallas Stars fans are pretty rabid. I could see another Canadian team. Shit, I'm from Connecticut. Let's bring them back. Let's bring the Whalers home. It's never going to happen.
Montana a team. I don't know. Fucking try something different.
Utah, Salt Lake City.
Yeah, Salt Lake City would be a market.
That'd be cool.
I mean, they're covered from head to toe, so it fits in with the dress code requirements there.
Yeah, but you can't drink at the arena.
Fucking!
No, you can drink in Salt Lake City. Trust me. That's me how I know.
In certain places, there are parts of it where you can't.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be. I don't think they move because I'm pretty sure they're in talks with a new arena being built somewhere in Arizona. So
they're going to keep trying to push that Arizona market. I think that.
Well, but maybe they move to Scottsdale or something like.
I think that's
actually where they're going. Yeah, it might actually end up being Scottsdale.
That was one of the things that was.
But the problem is no one's gonna care because the team's still not good.
Which is again, a multi-level.
Right. That's a front office thing. Yeah. Oh, the team can. Anyone with a pulse who watches hockey knows that they can eventually be good. It's just you need to have the pieces in place. And I feel like for the last 10 years, that's where Arizona's really struggled. They've had the talent. It's not like they haven't had the talent. I mean, they just lost Jacob Chikrin, who's one of the best defensemen in the NHL.
I think if I were to give advice to the Arizona Coyotes, which they wouldn't listen to because I'm fucking nobody and I know that. I think that they need to reinvest in their community in a major way.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only reason that, or the only way that they're going to get a stadium approved is if they give back majorly to the community around them. And I'm not just talking about the hockey. There is a lot, especially in the area that they're in, there is a lot of different crises, whether it's housing or drug crises or anything like that. I think they have to physically and monetarily invest in their community in order to get them more interested. Once they're interested, you can then start pulling your gritty and your buoy bullshit, which I love both of those teams, so I'm not using bullshit in a negative light here. But you can start doing stuff like that to engage on social media and start getting additional funding coming in to support those efforts. And then you have to fix your front of office staff and your coaching staff. And at that point, you're going to be a competitive team.
Yeah.
And Arizona's going to fucking want you.
Well, and think about it.
But you don't have strong ties.
Exactly. So, well, you said, Arizona will want them. If you think about them doing this sort of community outreach, there are 3 other professional teams in the state of Arizona. Do you know how many of them actually do stuff like that? I don't think any of them.
There's not a lot of sports love from what I can tell in Arizona.
No, I mean they love the D-backs and they love the Sun.
Yeah,
the Phoenix Suns are the best team in that state. Nobody cares about the Cardinals.
Is that saying a lot?
The NBA is the NBA. But no, I do agree. Put your community first and show, hey, guess what? We care about you guys, so you guys should care about us too. It's a good mutual thing that definitely will help grow fan bases and make people give a shit. And that's isn't that really what we all want?
And it can't be like a proposed thing, because I see it so many times that they're like, "Oh, well, once you give us what we want, we'll be able to have the space to give you this."
Just do
it.
It's
no, you have to meet them where they are and just fucking start somewhere.
Yeah, and just do it.
Yeah. Nike, just do it. Well, after that tangent,
I had to bring up the Babcock thing because I knew Dee wanted to talk about it. It's very important.
Right. Oh yeah, no.
And Chris wanted to see me get angry on our first podcast back, so that
I wanted you to be spicy because you said you were going to try not to be spicy.
It doesn't last long.
Privy to that conversation, so. But do we want to talk about the other quick coaching changes?
Sure.
Yeah.
Across the league, I have the list if you want me just to run.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Anaheim Ducks back in June named Greg Cronin as their new head coach.
I'm excited.
Interestingly, I didn't realize he never played professional hockey.
No.
But he's the only one on the list without a professional hockey career.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is awesome for the sport, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that it brings a different atmosphere to it. And it's not back in my day.
I'm excited.
We talked a lot last season about how hockey has changed, even over our lifetimes of the last 30 years.
Even over the last 5 years.
Interesting to see. Right. Calgary Flames named Ryan Huska back in June as well. Columbus Blue Jackets, as we talked about, now has Pascal Vincent. The Predators named I was going to say my dear friend. Yeah, we're besties.
We know him personally. Come on the show anytime.
Andrew Brunette. One of my favorite former Wild players, Bruno.
Friend of the show, Bruno.
Yeah, personal. We're bestie. No, Bruno's a great dude.
We had dinner last week.
I wish.
Yeah. He was over yesterday. What are you guys talking about? Then the Rangers named Peter
Laviolette.
Vadori.
I'm excited for Lavi being the coach of the Rangers. I'm excited to see what he can do there. There's a lot of talent.
To see. The Rangers kind of made a lot of different changes this year, or this off season.
Yeah, they kind of shook things up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Caps have Spencer Carberry.
Which we love Spencer. Spencer is an alum of the organization. And all the players are really, really stoked about him coming in. So so far so good.
Arguably, the youngest of the new coaches, I would say, like his professional career was 2006 to 2010. Everybody else played more in the 90s. Ryan Feska played up until 2000. So, but yeah, Spencer definitely is, he played the most recently, we'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct language. For once in my fucking life.
Well, seeing as we're talking about like big moves, do we want to just go into like major roster moves for the offseason?
Let's jump on in.
Well, do we want to talk about like the retirees?
Yeah, because there's some people that did retire that I'm kind of sad about.
We had a lot of retirements.
A
lot, yeah. So do we want to split these up by division or just run down the list?
I don't actually have that in front of me.
Okay.
Since you took the coaches, do you want me to take retirement or do you want to split it, Danger?
You can take it if you want. None of them really make me feel any type of way, except for really Bergeron, kind of.
Yeah,
and
I think we're all sad about Bergie.
Yeah,
Bergie and Hornquist, I think we're all sad about.
Yeah, but it's just like it'll suck to not see them play.
Yeah,
but yeah, otherwise you can take that.
Okay.
Totally fine.
All right, so for retired players, we started out with the San Jose Sharks losing Marcus Nadavara. He retired in late June. Next up, the Colorado Avalanche said goodbye to Darren Helm, followed by the Calgary Flames with Michael Stone, which I was a little bit bummed about. Florida Panthers, obviously, Patrick Hornquist said his goodbye to the NHL there this year in early July. Thomas Greiss left the St. Louis Blues and entered his retirement. Nate Thompson for the Philadelphia Flyers. And rounding out July, we have the most impactful one, I think, for this group, which is Patrice Bergeron. Obviously, he was a phenomenal leader for his team. And there were, like, I mean, just post after post after post.
Hands down, future Hall of Famer. Future Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
100%. You don't even have to think about it. He's getting the invitation
No
tomorrow.
question. Yeah.
First,
I'd be shocked if he wasn't first ballot.
Right.
Yeah.
Another big name that left middle August, but was the first of the August group, was David Krejci of the Boston Bruins as well, followed by Jonathan Bernier of the New Jersey Devils and Jonas Donskoy of the Seattle Kraken. So that is the first Kraken, I believe, to retire.
I know. I didn't expect Jonas Donskoy to retire.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised by it too, but hey, choices are what they are.
Oh, yeah.
Rounding out August was one that is personally sad for me, as we said goodbye to Carl Hagelin of the Washington Capitals, who just realized that he was never going to fully recover from the unfortunate eye incident where he got hit with a puck to the eyeball during a practice.
This is why we have the visors.
This is 100% why we have the visors. So Carl made a very tearful goodbye post, but he was very happy that he got to play his final game with us here in Washington.
Yeah, and Hagelin's a former Duck too, so obviously, I didn't want to see him retire either. Well, he played pretty well,
and
with
not
us
for the
too.
reason he retired, especially.
Yeah, and you never want to see anyone retire to injury.
It's a tough reason to see anybody leave.
Right.
Anytime you're like forced to retire and it's not on your own terms, like that's tough.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of Anaheim, they kicked off September retirements with their departure of Michael DeZotto.
Yeah.
He said goodbye in early September, the first of that group.
Del Zotto did a lot of bouncing up and down between the minors and the big club. He was always productive when he was up with the Ducks, so I wish Del Zotto the best. That was kind of sad to see, but it's, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Next up for Arizona Coyotes, we said goodbye to Andrew Ladd.
Coyotes?
Cody's? Did I just say Cody's?
You just said Cody's.
You said Cody's?
That's a cute little new name I gave them.
She said Cody's.
I said Cody's. I didn't even notice it.
Fantastic.
That's so funny. Followed by Nick Holden for the Ottawa Senators. Almost the end of September, we had Paul Byron with Montreal Canadiens. And then Corey Schneider for the New York Islanders was our last person to depart in late September.
Saw that one coming. Corey Schneider's been playing for like ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So far, we've only had one person in October announce their retirement, and that was Brandon Suter for the Vancouver Canucks. So that rounds out all of our retirements in this off season so far.
Yeah, I was expecting Brandon Sutter to retire. Like, he's had a good career, but I think he wants to follow in his dad's footsteps and coach. And Daryl Sutter's Daryl Sutter. Everyone knows that name. So, I
do think, like, I know, I think it was Corey Perry is still debating it.
Mm-hmm.
Last I heard.
Still talks there.
I just hope that if he does, that he signs a one-day deal with Anaheim and retires with the team that he had his successful years with. Because that I think would mean more to him and his family, considering he spent almost his entire career there.
Right. No, I get you.
We've had that conversation too about a few people. Like for me, I'm waiting for Braden Holtby to retire Washington Cap. And I think he will.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because I love Holtbeast. Anyway, that was all I had for our retirements this far.
Yeah, I mean, Boston lost a lot. Boston did lose a lot. And it wasn't even just then. I mean, you think about the trade they traded away Foligno and Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
You know, but don't worry. Yeah. You guys got Milan Lucic back.
Well, there was also some Bruins. There was one Bruin that had a buyout as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Riley.
I do have the contract terminations if we want to run through that too, just because it's kind of interesting to me.
Agreed.
Josh Bailey from the Blackhawks was bought out, as was Mike Riley from the Bruins. Mm-hmm. Tyler, I think it's Tyler Yamamoto from the Red Wings was bought out.
Wow.
The Predators bought out Matt Duchene, which surprised
me. I knew that was coming.
And this one really caught me kind of off guard, but Blake Wheeler from the Winnipeg Jets got bought out.
Do you blame him? He's wanted out for like a year and a half now, and they just kept him around.
From the Jets organization? Why would...
I was just surprised that, like,
it
the
took
Jets
this
went
long.
There, I guess.
Yeah.
Philip Zadina, from Detroit Red Wings, and Andy Andreoff from the New York Islanders. Both were mutual terminations of their contracts.
Yeah.
Alex
Galchenyuk?
Yeah. From the Coyotes was
that was a whole ass thing in itself.
Yeah.
That was a termination.
If you guys don't know about that, look it up.
You know what? We wanted to keep the vibe as positive as possible.
Yeah. Right. So just like look that.
So we just talked about Mike Babcock instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was enough. That kind of tea for one episode. Tony DeAngelo from the Flyers got bought out. Jean-Sebastien Dea from the Coyotes was a mutual termination. Rodonin Amarov from the Maple Leafs was a termination. Liam Kirk from the Coyotes was a mutual termination, and Josh Archibald from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I believe we renamed them the Coats.
The Coyotes.
The Coyotes.
Yeah, we renamed them the Coyotes. So let's make sure we keep up with that.
Also, welcome.
Sorry.
Welcome back to season 2 of Danger Does Names.
Hey, she did an excellent.
It's not going to be any better, you know.
To be fair, she did better, I would say, on names than I did, considering that I mispronounced a very common word.
I at least didn't mispronounce coyote.
Yeah. But it's fine. It's good.
I like it. It's good.
We did have a few people that were claimed on waivers so far too, so I'll just run through that super fast.
Yeah.
Spencer Martin, who was formerly with the Blue Jackets, is now with. Who's formerly with the Canucks, is now with the Blue Jackets. Ty Emberson, formerly with the Rangers, is now with the San Jose Sharks. Lassie Thompson, formerly with the Senators, is now with the Anaheim Ducks. Samuel Fajimo, don't know that last name, of the Los Angeles Kings, is now with the Nashville Predators. And Jansen Harkins, again, leaving the Winnipeg Jets, who knows why, is now with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So those were the only waiver claims we've had. Granted, that is of time of recording. That I'm sure will be different tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of moves. Do we want to talk about all the notable team signings and stuff from the offseason?
Yeah, we want to just kind of go round robin,
and then we can talk about the free agency signings.
Sure. With this, you could tell it's the first episode of the season because none of us are on track
together. No.
But that's what makes it fun. That's the fun of it.
I was like, that doesn't change throughout the season.
No, it's just it's a little less goofy.
It's tighter.
Yeah, it does get a little less goofy from all of us.
Tighter, but
yeah.
This is the fun of it.
So we'll kind of start back with June. The Avs and Tampa Bay Lightning traded. So the Avs picked up Ross Colton and gave away a pick. I'm not going to go into detail about the picks. I'm just going to say a pick later on.
Next, Pittsburgh picked up Riley Smith, again, giving away a pick for that.
That was a good pickup.
Decent.
Pick up for a pick.
I hate when they do this. Fucking Chicago got Josh Bailey for future considerations to the New York Islanders. I don't know what that means. And a second round and another.
Yeah, it's all prospect stuff to be named later.
Stupid.
Right.
Detroit got Klim Kostin and Kyler Yamamoto for future considerations. That I think is actually a really good pickup, though.
Klim Kostin was a monster
star
last year in the playoffs for Edmonton.
Yeah,
Kostin had like 2 game winners.
Picked up Corey Perry.
Yeah, he just scored he just had a 3-player assist power play thing with it was Taylor Hall and Connor Bedard. It was like it was cool. I'll have to post it.
But yeah, I mean, we were just talking about Perry, so
yeah,
it's an interesting one.
Caps picked up Joel Edmondson too from.
Sorry.
And your team was involved in that because we had that 3-way.
Yeah, that was one of our 3-way ones, I think, right?
Which I love having 3-ways.
It's okay when it's in a 3-way.
We've yet to have a 3-way between the Caps, Anaheim, and the Wild, though. I think it needs to happen.
We're gonna will that into existence.
We're manifesting it.
Manifest it, and then we will have a special video of some.
Oh, we'll have a special video,
action.
All right.
That'll be another site.
Moving on. I'm sorry.
Florida picked up Steven Lorentz, and San Jose got Anthony Duclair for that one.
Out of that choice, yeah.
Yeah.
San Jose then got Leon Gawanke.
I like Gawanke better. It just makes my body want to move. Gawanke.
For our Artemia Kazintsov. Say that name.
Artemi Knightsov. But that was really cute. I like the way you say it better.
The one that I really care about, the Minnesota Wild, had a trade with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We got Maxim Kavogic. I can't say his name. I feel really bad. We got Max and Maroon. Max Maroon. There we go. We're combining them into one person.
I really like Maroon to the Wild.
I'm really excited to see Maroon. I know, he's played some of the preseason stuff. I know in one of the games he was wearing the assistant captain's patch, which we're kind of passing around since Dumba left. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Maroon and how he fits in with the team. I think, from what I've heard, the guys really enjoy having him in the locker room.
Oh, Pat Maroon is a classy human being. Former Ducks. He's played for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Just a gem of a human being.
A general, guy, well, what somebody said is he has the grit that Reeves has with the hype ability, but with the leadership of Foligno.
And he can score at will.
And the scoring abilities. So he definitely ticks a lot of boxes of what we need on our team, and I'm really hoping that. At least it seems so far that he's meshing very well, and so I'm really excited to see him. I get to go to a game in October, so I'm excited.
Oh, there you go.
Yay. The next really big trade that happened in July was the DeBrincat trade. So Alex DeBrincat went to Detroit, and the Ottawa Senators in return got Dominic Kubalik, Donovan Sabrango, either a conditional pick or a different conditional pick or a third conditional pick plus a other pick. So it was picks on picks on picks plus 2 players, all for DeBrincat. Listen, talk about a trade.
I think this was a good move for both sides because we
picks on picks, yeah.
But we saw last year how the Ottawa experiment backfired. They went out, got all these pieces, and none of these pieces blended together.
Right.
And that's a huge part of
still
building
waiting
a
on
team.
Snoop and Ryan to buy that fucking team and change things.
Even though somebody else bought it. They're selling it to somebody else. Somebody else ended up getting it. Yeah.
Wow.
But
this is interesting.
this is where I was mentioning early on in the show. DeBrincat on a line with Dylan Larkin is something that Larkin's never had. Dylan Larkin's always been the focal point of that Detroit offense, and I feel like having a good winger is going to help him tremendously. And Alex DeBrincat's only 29. Like, he's still in the prime of his career.
Oh, he's young. Jeez.
Yeah. That's why I was so shocked when Chicago traded him. I was like, what are you doing? So DeBrincat's going to look real good with the Red Wings.
Yeah.
I agree.
The next big one is Montreal and Pittsburgh had a trade. So Montreal has Casey DeSmith, Nathan Laguerre, and Jeff Petrie.
Yeah, getting out of the Petrie contract was great.
Yeah. And then the Pittsburgh. The Penguins got Mike Hoffman and Rem Pitlick.
So then we had David Kasha to the Carolina Hurricanes. In exchange, the Philly Flyers got Massimo Rizzo as well as a pick in 2025. Jeff Petrie did not stay with Montreal for long. He actually then went to Detroit in exchange for Gustav Lindstrom and a conditional 2025 pick.
And then Anaheim picked up Ilya Lyubushkin from the Sabres.
I liked that.
In 2020.
Yeah, I like that too.
Lyubushkin I think is going to fit really well in our system. And again, a veteran presence.
Right.
As we're going to talk about a couple of the veterans that Anaheim did end up picking up in the offseason and free agency. But I like Lyubushkin, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Montreal picked up Yakov Novak for future considerations to the Senators, as well as Tanner Pearson from the Canucks, and then the Canucks got Casey DeSmith out of that deal. And Montreal also got a third-round pick in 2025.
Hey, Thatcher Demko, you got a good backup.
So I guess that leaves us with our biggest talking point, which is, I'm going to start the San Jose Sharks. Got Mikael Granlund, Mike Hoffman, Jan Rutta, as well as some conditional first-round picks. In exchange for Pittsburgh picking up Dylan Hamalyuk, don't know if I said that right, Erik Karlsson being the big name there, as well as a third-round pick. So that was the talk of the offseason, because we all know that Eric and San Jose were not seeing eye to eye contract wise, and he had that incredible fucking season.
Oh yeah.
And so now he's in Pittsburgh.
So real quick, do you guys know who the new GM is over in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
No idea.
Kyle Dubas.
What's his name? Yeah, I was gonna.
And guess what?
I wanted to call him Dumba.
When I saw that Pittsburgh got Karlsson, immediately I was like, no. This is Dubas drawing a line in the sand and saying, we're not fucking around this season.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh had no reason to miss the playoffs last season with the team that they had. Yeah. Even injuries and everything, that team was still playing well. They choked. They blew it. There is no excuse for that. And I think we're going to see Dubas come in, like we're seeing him just making a big move and being like, hey, we're all in. Because let's be real. Right. How much longer does Crosby and Gino and Letang, how much longer do they really have?
I mean, Letang, we're definitely...
Probably coming up on a couple more years, if that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely. So I was happy to see Kyle go to Pittsburgh, even though I don't like Pittsburgh. I am happy that he didn't have to wait long for his next contract.
Oh, yeah. So. I figured he'd get picked up right away.
Yeah.
And it fits because Pittsburgh has this weird... Pittsburgh is the island of misfit toys in the NHL. They have had a track record of these players who are struggling other places that everyone's written off somehow go to Pittsburgh and they blow up.
Right.
It's this weird dynamic that they have in that city, and I'm very curious now to see when you add a major piece. Pittsburgh needed defense. Well, they went out and got a great two-way defenseman. A lot of people look at Karlsson like, no, he's more of an offensive guy. Watch him actually play defense. He's a great two-way D. I'm excited to see how he plays alongside Letang, because I assume you're going to put Karlsson with Letang.
Yeah, one would think.
So I'm very curious, and I think this puts Pittsburgh in a position to be a threat in that division. And the Metro's stacked.
I mean, they've always been a threat. Like, let's not pretend that they haven't always been a good team.
Yeah.
They're definitely, they've been around. So
yeah.
I think this will continue it. And I think this is a little bit of, not in a bad way, but like a little bit of lip service to the fans to be like, I know y'all were disappointed in how we performed last year. Look, we're doing it. Okay, shut up.
Yeah,
shut up and take it.
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Danger.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna talk shit.
No, I think it's a mixture of lip service and saying, hey, we're gonna give it one more go. We're gonna try to make one more run for the cup while we still have our players in their peak.
Somebody else have a chance. That's all I want to say. There's other
teams like my
team.
Let
my team have a really fucking hard. And they've never won a Stanley Cup. Okay.
Well,
I do think that your team
never won one in 23 years, and they really deserve it because they're hardworking boys. Okay.
Well, they don't hand out participation medals in the NHL.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Listen, I would be excited to see the Wild do it, but you got to do it.
The way we would get so drunk if the Wild were in a Stanley Cup game, dude, because there's no way we wouldn't watch it all together.
This would be like we would be partying. Like motherfucking rock stars.
I would have to call in and call out of work. Honestly,
we would be so hammered.
We'd be so fucked.
Oh yeah,
just a fucking the way it goes. Like you'd have to be here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess next up we have some free agency updates, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, you kick us off.
I actually have this piece of information.
I know.
For very, very seldom am I unprepared. Your boy worked a 12-hour shift today, and Danger helped all of us.
She did.
I was gonna say you better not just say that you came up with it.
No. I worked a 12-hour shift today, so your boy was unprepared, and Danger was looking out for everyone today.
She really was. She was like, "I got you."
So I show prepped for once.
You show prepped, like
you went hard in the paint, and I applaud you. Let's take a moment to applaud Danger
today.
How we split this up is we are going to talk about notable signings in our team's divisions, as well as we're going to split up the Atlantic because
so D&E each took 3 teams from the Atlantic, only gave Chris 2, so he didn't have to prep as much. And then I found a really easy way to do it. So
yeah.
But there's not enough teams for us each to have 3.
Oh yeah.
So
obviously, we're going to start off with Anaheim. We just like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we don't have to talk about Trevor Zegras re-signing. Anaheim snagged a couple more veteran players in Radko Gudas and Alex Killorn. Both were with playoff teams. Boston, the Boston Bruins, obviously losing Bergeron and Krejci and Taylor Hall was big. They did sign James Van Riemsdyk, Morgan Geekie as well from the Seattle Kraken, and the return of Milan Lucic, who hasn't been relevant in the NHL in like 5 years. Congrats on loyalty, Boston.
We'll see what happens.
They also did bolster their defense with picking up Kevin Shattenkirk from Anaheim. The Buffalo Sabres didn't really do a lot that mattered, except for picking up Eric Johnson from Colorado, and I thought that was a nice move, as well as Connor Clifton from the Bruins. I'm looking for big things from them again this year. Calgary really didn't do anything of note. Edmonton did snag Connor Brown from the Washington Capitals.
Yep.
And as well as getting Ben Gleason, who's coming off a pretty decent year in Dallas last season. The LA Kings snagging a goaltender in Cam Talbot from the Ottawa Senators, which again, I feel like we saw the writing in the sand when they traded DeBrincat.
And Cam deserves better, and I'm excited to see him go and play for the Kings, be able to play with Fiala again.
I just hope he stays healthy this year, because he was hurt a good portion of last season, and he just didn't play up to Cam Talbot potential.
Right. But yeah, he's a great goalie. Love him.
The San Jose Sharks did snag Kyle Burrows from the Vancouver Canucks, which again is seeing more people leaving Vancouver. As well as Philip Zadina, which is going to be a nice little snag for them. Seattle Seattle did make some moves. Connor Carrick from Boston Bruins ended up over there, as well as young Kyler Yamamoto from the Detroit Red Wings, who I think is going to blow it up there with Matty Beniers and the rest of that team. The Vancouver Canucks snagged veteran Ian Cole from the Tampa Bay Lightning, while also getting Teddy Bluger from the Vegas Golden Knights. And really, that's it. I mean, Vegas made a move, and it wasn't really anything of note. But I'm curious to see. No, I mean, it really wasn't.
It really wasn't. They didn't do much.
I'm curious to see what Boston does this year.
Yeah, they have a season to live up to. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, and they're not going to. Sadly,
we'll see. We shall see.
Danger. Do you want to take the next?
Yeah. So for the Coyotes, they picked up Jason Zucker, Nick Bukestad, Travis Dermott, and Matt Dumba, which, we mentioned that earlier, but that one definitely hurt for me to see. Bukestad play press for a while too. I like Bukestad a lot. So it'll definitely be interesting to see the team that Arizona puts together.
They made a lot of moves.
They made a lot of moves, and I don't know that it's going to be enough, but we'll see. Another former Wild player, Ryan Donato, who was one of my favorite. When he played for us, he went to Chicago, which breaks my heart, but say Levy. And then for the Avs, we've got Jonathan Drouin and Thomas Tatar. We're kind of the biggest notable ones. Dallas has Craig Smith, Matt Duchene, Sam Steele, treacherous bastard. No, just kidding. I like Sam.
Former Duck.
He just didn't quite fit in with the Wild anymore. So
had to say goodbye.
But yeah, we had it was time to say goodbye. But Sam's a good player. And then talking about the Wild, Vinny Letteretti re-signed, Jake Lucchini, and Jujahar Kahara.
Yeah, you guys got Juhar Khaira. That was cool.
Yeah. Juhar Khaira is. I'm excited to see what he does. I think I sent these guys a message with, I know this name means something. I was kind of the end of it. For the Predators, they signed Luke Sheen, Ryan O'Reilly, Gustav Nyquist, who again played for us for a short time after last year. I really liked Nyquist though. And Dennis Gurianov. Thank you. Ottawa got Jonas Korpisalo. It's huge.
That's
Garrett
a good move.
Zach McEwen and Vladimir Tarasenko, which is a huge signing.
I'm curious to see what Korpisalo does, knowing that he's going to be the number one guy in net in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good goaltender. He's a solid goaltender, but I feel like the pressure wasn't on him in Columbus, and pressure sure as hell wasn't on him in LA last season.
Right.
But yeah, Ottawa. Yeah. I'm really curious to see how that works out.
Yeah, I am too. And then St. Louis picked up Malcolm Subban and Oscar Sundqvist, which again he played for the Wild for a time last year. Yeah. Toronto had Ryan Reeves. Last I heard, though, they placed him on waivers. I was sad to see that happen. I know Dee wasn't whatsoever.
I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Reeves just has a whole different energy. But I like big bruiser guys. Like Derek Bugard's one of my favorite.
I do too.
Of all time.
I just have a problem with him.
But Reeves is also very cocky. But he also, I don't know, he brought that energy to the Wild locker room that we were lacking with, the ability to hype guys up. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. We'll definitely keep everybody posted on Reeves. And then we have Toronto also picked up Maxime LaJoie, John Klingberg, who also played for the Wild, Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi, two huge names.
Two big ones.
And Simon Benoit.
I feel like the Max Domi signing kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah,
really
Domi was a stud last year.
Yeah. I think it happened, and then it at least here, it seemed like he signed, and there was like a pause for like 2 or 3 days, and then it blew the fuck up.
Yeah, like
and it was
I'm
just everywhere.
real,
but I think it was
real excited to see Max Domi play in Toronto. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
With like
and well, Tyler
Klingberg,
Bertuzzi had a decent season last year, and same with Klingberg.
He's just a name that like everybody sees, and
right.
Well, and this is Klingberg's third team in like
2 years.
Not even a full calendar year. He obviously.
Well, and I think Klingberg was the one, or was it Sundqvist? One of the two of them was hurt at the end of last year.
It was Klingberg because he was hurt with us when we traded him to you guys.
Yeah. So he was healthy by playoffs. But performed really well. I mean, was a decent player.
It just didn't work with him in Anaheim. But again,
it just didn't work.
Anaheim had a lot of other issues.
We have that dead cap that we have to pay for. So fucking. And then Laurent Brossoit got picked up by Winnipeg. That's the end of my. He did.
All right, then I guess we're diving in to my division. Starting off in the Metro with the Carolina Hurricanes, they picked up 4 notable players in Dmitry Orlov, Michael Bunting, Brendan Lemieux, and Tony DeAngelo. Next up, we travel to Detroit, where they picked up 3 notable players with James Reimer, Daniel Sprong, and Shane Gostisbehere, which I love his name.
I love Gostisbehere. Is it Gostisbehere or Gostisbehere? I've heard it said like 4 different ways.
Yeah, I like Gostisbehere because it makes it seem like a ghosty berry. And I think that's cute.
Ghosty. Again,
they do call him Ghosty.
But this is what I'm talking about with Detroit. Like you go out, you get all these, you're building pieces. And Gostisbehere played great last year with Carolina, and he's like one of the only good players with Arizona before the trade deadline. I don't know if I could sleep on Detroit like being a bad team this year.
We'll see. Hopefully they can turn some stuff around.
No, I thought last year that they were making good moves.
Even JT Compher played great with Colorado last season.
True. Yeah, they did pick up JT as well. Next, we're going to go to Florida in the Atlantic Division. Florida picked up a few notable players in Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
That was big.
From the Canucks, which I think was a stellar pickup. They picked up Anthony Stolarz from the Anaheim Ducks, Mike Riley, and Dmitry Kulikov, which I think Kulikov is a good get for them as well.
Kulikov, I love.
I love Kulikov,
Ekman-Larsson, another one.
Ekman-Larsson's a good get.
This was another one when we said last season, go back to when we were talking about when Bo Horvat left, our questions were, who are the next pieces to fall? And look at all these notable players from Vancouver that no longer are there. Ekman-Larsson, that's a nice pickup.
It's a good
for
pickup
Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to travel back over to the Metro with the New Jersey Devils. The only one that was really notable to me was Cal Footy. I think it's Footy.
Is it?
I think it's
Well,
Footy.
They did get Tomas.
Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Let's get that engagement going, y'all.
Yeah, they did get Tomas Nosek too, which he played pretty well for Boston last year.
They did. Yeah.
Well, when he was healthy, he got hurt a couple times last year, but
he missed a lot of the season. The New York Islanders picked up Brian Pinho. Pretty notable get. The Rangers got Jonathan Quick, Blake Wheeler, and Eric Gustafson as well. I really like those. As well as Tyler Pitlick as well. He went over that way.
Nick Bonino.
Yeah, that's a good get. Philly picked up Garnet Hathaway, Mark Stahl, and Victor Met. Which I think are all... Victor Met was out injured a lot last year. So
he did get hurt a lot last year.
Yeah, but I think that he's still not a bad gut for them.
No.
Pittsburgh picked up a shit ton
Pittsburgh
of people,
went off.
To be honest, they went
they fucking
ham.
Are on
But
one.
I'm not going to talk about all of them. They picked up Matt Nieto, Nola Chiari, Ryan Graves, and Ryan Shea. Those
as well as Lars Eller.
That's Vinny Hinostroza. Oh, and Lars Eller. Yeah, how can I forget about my boy Lars?
Vinny Hinostroza.
Yeah, Vinny Hinostroza.
His last name is fun to say
as well. It is. It was devastating to see Lars have to put on a Penguins uniform, having been a Washington Cap for so long. But
I get why they traded him. I think it was another situation where just get something for him because they weren't going to re-sign him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're back in the Atlantic with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Connor Sherry having gone there, which I think is I think Connor still has some time left in him. I think he's actually
pretty
good.
Oh yeah.
They also picked up Tyler Mott as well.
Yeah.
And then we get to end with my team. We only picked up 4 people. One of whom scored tonight, actually, in our overtime winning game against the Boston Bruins, Matthew Phillips. But we also picked up Max Pacioretty, who is currently on injured reserve. So
still did, because he tore his ACL last year in his first game with Carolina, so he probably won't be back until like the beginning of this, or probably like a quarter of the way through the season.
It says out until at least November 27th.
Oh wow! All right, so he's going to be back for at least the beginning part of the season. All right.
Yeah. We also picked up Chase Pritsky and Alex Limoges. So that wraps up our free agency, y'all.
Indeed. Wow. A talking point that we had last year was the goaltending situation in Vegas. They had Brossoit, they had, Aiden Hill, Logan Thompson, so they re-signed Aiden Hill. And the question I want to pose to you guys is, yes, he was a massive, massive part of that Stanley Cup winning team. Main reason. Do we think that was the right move to re-sign him?
Yeah, for them.
I think so. I think that I think that some of their goaltenders are leaving. Let's be honest. They're not sticking around.
Well, Brossoit's gone.
Right. So I think Aiden Hill, I think that's a good place to put your money when he did so well for you. I think that would be, if we're talking about the fans' image of their organization after a dude just won you a Stanley Cup, to be like, you know what, get fucked.
Well, and no one knows what's going on with Robin Leonard,
Exactly.
And I mean, Logan Thompson played fantastic last year, but he got hurt a few times. So I guess that question leads me to Aiden Hill's gonna have to be your guy. Because, again, no one knows what's going on with Leonard, but can you rely on Logan Thompson to be a solid tandem member of that goaltending core, or do you have to go get somebody else?
That's fair.
I'm skeptical. I'm curious, and I hope that it goes well, because Aiden Hill earned every bit of the contract that he got signed to.
Yeah, I like him.
The guy stood on his head.
Yeah. I think earlier, Chris, you mentioned the Isle of Misfit Toys being Pittsburgh Penguins. Which team do you think is the island from Lord of the Flies?
Oh,
where they all want to fucking eat each other?
Yeah.
That's the Vancouver Canucks organization. The Vancouver Canucks organization.
I think we all have to agree that it's fucking Vancouver.
Jesus Christ.
That is the goddamn Lord of the Flies.
Survival of the fucking fittest up there, boys.
100%. Yeah.
Danger, do we have any notable injuries to start the season?
We do have injuries.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
I will state there were no suspensions or fines as of yet. Thank God.
Which is shocking because we are into the preseason now.
Well, there was preseason stuff last season. If I
first game, people were getting suspended.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to report that as of now, at least,
as of today,
we do have for Anaheim, Alex Killorn has a hurt thingy. He's expected to be out until at least November 10th.
Yeah,
Jamie
I just read that.
Drysdale is in a contract dispute currently. They're hoping to resolve
it. Another young Anaheim player in a contract dispute. What the fuck are you doing, Pat Verbeek?
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Figure it out.
And then Isaac Lindstrom has, I don't know if he tore it or it's just a hurt Achilles, but he's expected to be out until February 9th.
I think it's a partially torn Achilles. Dude, Lundestrom had an injury at the end of the season last year too, which sucks. So I hope Isaac comes back.
Right.
For Arizona, Shea Weber, I'm confused by this because he's on IR, expected to be out until at least September 15th, but it happened on September 16th. I don't know if that means he's out all season or not, but it's an ankle injury.
Okay.
For Buffalo, we have Jack Quinn. who was hurt apparently back in June, but expected to be out also with an Achilles issue, I think at the end of the season last year, until October 29th. So he'll probably miss the first couple of games. Calgary, we have Jakob Pelletier. Upper body injury expected to be out until the end of November. For Carolina, we have Andrei Svechnikov with a knee injury. He is currently on IR. Yeah, expected to be out until at least October 11th. So they're still hoping he'll be able to play at the beginning of the season, it sounds like. But, we'll have to see. Knees are not fun to mess with when you're a hockey player.
No, they aren't. Well, they're not fun at all.
For Chicago, we have Philip Khrushchev with a wrist injury expected to be out until October 5th. Colin Blackwell with a lower body injury expected also until October 5th. For Colorado, they fucking are killing it already. Pavel Francouz has a groin injury, is currently on IR, expected to be back October 11th. Kale Makar with a lower body injury, he's listed as day-to-day. Chris Wagner with an Achilles injury, expected to be out until February 5th, is currently listed as IR. Callum Ritchie, shoulder injury, expected to be out until at least November 1st. Andrew Cogliano, neck injury, expected to be out until at least October 11th.
Cogs.
Gabriel Landeskog, knee injury, currently listed as IR, expected to be out until April.
I think they might be ruling him out for the year again.
Yeah.
Like they said last season, they weren't sure if he'll even play this year.
Poor Landeskog.
Yeah.
I know. That knee was a bad injury.
Yeah, I did too. I was.
Yeah, I like him. I know in the Wild game, one of Chicago's prospects broke a femur too. He went to get a hit and missed the hit, but slid feet first into the boards.
Oh no!
Yeah, broke his femur. So he's a 19-year-old player. Hopefully he can, heal real quickly. Right. But yeah, that was a painful. My grandma actually texted me. She was at the game and she goes, "Are you watching the game? Did you see what happened to the Chicago player?" And I'm like, "No, who? I'm not." Like, I actually just gotten back home from running an errand.
Yeah.
And so we kind of waited to see. But yeah, it came out a couple days later. He had surgery while he was still here in Minnesota, and then flew back to Chicago. So. For Columbus, we have Igor Chenikov. Yeah. He has a back injury, expected to be out until October 5th. So nothing major, because that just happened on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Today? What, today?
Yeah.
Today.
Kind of. Yeah.
For Dallas, Wyatt Johnston, upper body injury, expected to be out until the 5th. Again, that happened today. And I never know how to say his first name. Rupe, whatever the fuck. Hence, upper body injury as well, expected back on the 5th. For Detroit, Matt Loof has an upper body injury, expected to be out until at least October 12th. For Edmonton, we have Ryan McLeod, undisclosed injury, expected to be out until at least the 4th. And I can fucking talk. Matthias Ekholm, hip injury, expected to be out until at least the 4th. For Florida, we have Brandon Montour, shoulder injury, expected to be out until December 12th. As well as Eric Ekblad, shoulder injury, happened on the same day as well.
Wow.
As Montour, expected to be out until at least December 14th. So Florida will be missing those two defensive moves. Montreal, also, shocker, they're killing it. Joel Armina. There's no N in there. Has an upper body injury, expected to be out until at least the 11th. Gustav Lindstrom, upper body injury, expected to be out until at least the 11th of October. Alex Newhook, upper body injury, expected to be out until at least October 11th. Mike Matheson, lower body injury, expected to be out until at least October 7th. Chris Weidman has a back injury, expected to be out until at least October 7th. Christian Dvorak has a knee injury, expected to be out until at least November 2nd. And Carey Price, that's who I meant, not Corey Perry earlier. Carey Price. Is the one that's toying with retirement.
I don't think he's never going to play again. I don't like.
But yeah, he still hasn't officially retired yet.
Yeah, he's not ready to admit it yet.
Currently, on IR with that knee injury, expected to be out until at least July 1st, as of July 1st.
Yeah. No, I would be shocked if Carey Price laced up Skinner.
I apologize for saying Corey Perry earlier. That was my bad.
Yeah. The thing is, we both knew who you meant, but didn't correct it.
Yeah, but nobody, it didn't click until I saw Price's name. But Corey Perry, Carey Price, you guys can understand. Stupider things.
Their names are very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey Perry all the time.
Right. Keith Kincaid has an undisclosed injury, expected to be out until at least October 4th. For the Islanders, we have Kyle Palmieri, undisclosed, expected to be out until at least October 5th. For the Rangers, we have Philip Cheadle.
Cheadle.
What? I want Cheetos. God damn it.
Oh, that sounds good.
I have Gushers.
Oh, I'm jealous.
That doesn't help Cheetos.
I have pizza.
He has an upper body injury, expected to be out until at least October 4th. For Ottawa, Josh Norris. I wonder if he's related to Chuck. Anyway, has a shoulder injury, expected to be out until at least, we're besties too. I'll just text him. October 5th. Shane Pinto is also in a contract dispute with Ottawa. He's expected to be out until at least October 11th, or they fucking stop disputing.
They're like, fuck you, yeah.
Yeah. For Philly, we have Ryan Ellis. He's got a back injury, expected probably to miss the rest of the season. I'm assuming, by the way, that's his listed. It was another one as of July 1st, expected to be out until July 1st.
Nice.
For Pittsburgh, we have Pierre Olivier Joseph.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Will Butcher. Undisclosed injury, but expected to be out until at least October 10th. And Jake Gunsel. Ankle injury, expected to be out until the 24th of October, which will be a big miss for them.
Yeah.
For San Jose, we have Radim Simek and Logan Couture. Both lower body injuries, both expected to be out until at least October 12th.
Wow.
San Jose is making it easy on me. Tampa Bay, we have Logan Brown, undisclosed injury, expected to be out until October 30th. And Andre
Vasilevsky.
Yes, thank you. Back injury expected to be out until November 24th. Did you see my brain go, yeah, fuck that shit?
I saw the
completely fell off the wheel.
I saw in your face that you were like, I know this name, but it's just not happening.
It's just not happening.
It's just not happening.
The brain isn't connected to the mouth at that point.
That's a move.
Like I said, the hamster fell off the wheel and went.
The hamster very much so just went, nah, dude, we ain't doing this shit today.
For Toronto, we have Joseph Wool. He has just an illness, expected to be out until at least October 5th.
Tommy Hood.
Oh. Go to the dying corner.
I missed an opportunity to bring back the syphilis bus, especially now that we're in Toronto. I'm so sorry.
The syphilis bus
has made its return.
And I think the Pucked Up needs its own dying corner.
Clearly.
Less Than Normal has a dying corner.
On every other show.
Yeah.
So.
The Less Than Normal show is that dying corner is basically just reserved for Dave. So,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's Dave's bed. That's where I live when you guys record and I'm in his room. So for Toronto, we have Joseph Wool, who is out on the syphilis bus, as we were going to talk about. He got homie beep beep motherfuckers. Cal Jarncroft.
Beep beep, goddamn. Sorry.
He's out with a neck injury, expected to be out until at least October 5th. John Klingberg, out with an upper body injury, expected to be out until at least October 5th. Connor Timmins, lower body injury, expected to be out until at least October 16th. Bobby McMahon,
Barber,
has a knee injury. He's expected to be out until at least October 5th. Dylan Gambrell. They're must be working these guys hard in practice.
They have to be. There's so many injuries.
Dylan is out with a concussion already and expected to be out until at least October 11th.
Shit.
Jake Muzzin has a neck injury. He's listed as IR.
Dude, Muzzin was hurt for most of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this may be stemming from last year. I'm not sure. Because it says at least September 15th, but was updated on the 20th of September. So, as well as Matt motherfucking Murphy. Murphy, that's not his name. Matt Murray.
It could be. We don't know.
He had to change it when he came into the country.
Undisclosed, though, is what his is listed now, which I feel like is not what it was
syphilis
before,
bus.
But he's yeah, syphilis.
Sorry. He's a syphilis bus with a dash of fucking something else.
Yeah. He's the captain.
But expected to be out until at least November 4th.
That's a syphilis train.
For Vancouver, we have Ilya Mikheyev. It's literally how it's spelled. Okay, Mikheyev. That's phenomenal. I like that name. I'm going to change my last name to Mikheyev.
Mikheyev. She's just all of a sudden Russian now.
Just, yeah, I love it.
Okay.
We'll do it.
You go, hey. Okay. He's listed as IR with a knee injury, expected to be out until at least October 11th. Tucker Poolman. He, I think, got hurt last season, too. Head injury, expected to be out until at least September 15th. September 20th. So, Lord and
shoulders, knees and toes.
Yeah. For Vegas, Zach Whitecloud. He's a fun player to watch.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, I like him.
Expected to be out until at least October 10th. Also undisclosed, which we again know is syphilis bus. And Robin Leonard, hip injury. Yep. Although this says expected to be out until at least October 24th. So maybe they know something the rest of us don't.
That's TBD in my opinion.
Right? Yeah. He's another one where I'm like, he might not ever play. Yeah. For Washington, we have Joel Edmondson with a hand injury, expected to be out until at least October 29th. And then Max Peccaretti with an Achilles injury, like we were talking about earlier, expected to be out until at least November 22nd.
Oof, poor Patchy.
For Winnipeg, all of these players are listed to be out, expected to be out until at least October 5th.
Ooh.
So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to go through it every time.
No, something's happening there because I saw that 4 of them have tummies.
Yeah, they got illnesses. Tummy holes. They need some gripe water.
He needs some milk.
No, so when my son was a baby, he was really colicky. And they have like this over-the-counter homeopathic like drop thing, and it's called gripe water.
Oh, okay.
So in colicky babies, as most of you probably know, they get very cranky and they cry a lot. And so I'd give him gripe water, and I'd tell him to quit his griping.
That's cute, though.
I'd shove it down his throat.
Do you still give it to him? Because I would.
No, he probably wouldn't let me anymore. He's bigger than I am.
Can't force him medicine. He's bigger
we have
than me.
Declan Chisholm out with a lower body injury. Morgan Barron is an illness. He's got that tummy ache. Kyle Capobianco, groin injury. He was partying a little too hard.
Oh, it's that. It was that kind of party. All right.
Yeah.
Apparently. Sheffield is out with that illness. Gabriel Villardi. Yeah. Illness. Kyle Connor, illness. Nikolai Ellers is out with a neck injury. And Nate Schmidt with a lower body.
My neck.
That's all I have.
My back.
And I promise I won't have every week them printed out. It was just easier for my brain to print things out this week.
I love how my favorite part of each episode is the fact that we have the one person who has the hardest time reading names do the injury report.
It makes it the most fun, though.
And she does it willingly.
It's her favorite part.
I would be offended if you took it away from me.
It is indeed one of the gems of Pucked Up.
Let's also be honest. There are names that I fuck up, even though I know the name.
Dude, and there are ridiculous names.
There are names that are just hard.
Like, why? What are we doing? What are we trying to prove?
But last year I think we had one viewer say that they appreciated it because they now know that they're not the only ones that struggle with names.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy to be that person.
And name me a sport that has crazier names than fucking hockey.
Oh God.
There's really
hockey is the worst when it comes to it.
I mean,
football's getting
and I also
there.
love coming up with nicknames for people. So
I was gonna say, I think that the Russian gymnast might give them a run for their money.
Oh my God. We have 2 more segments left, but I think this is time, D, for you to ask the question of the week.
Right, so this week our question, is kind of what we start every season off with, all the 2 of them that we've had so far. And that is, what are some season projections that we have? Like, what do we predict is going to happen? I think a few of us have maybe already hinted at an answer.
Can I go?
But Danger, why don't you take it away?
I think the Wild are going to make it to the playoffs and then fuck everything up again.
You know what? That is a strong prediction. I think you're gonna.
I hope I'm wrong. Please God, let me be
Please God. Of all the times I could be wrong in my life,
it's hard to say like who I think will take the cup.
I don't think we can even talk cup. I think we can just talk like good performances this year.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a hot take. I have a real hot take. Sure. The Buffalo Sabres will finish in the top 3 in the Atlantic.
You're fucking dumb. I say that with absolute love in my heart.
I don't know, the strong performance that they had last year. They were battling for a wild card spot last year. Like, for a team that was in the basement the year before.
And you think that they're going to jump in 2 years from the basement to the top floor?
Well, I'm not saying they're going to win the fucking division.
No, but top 3 is still like, I mean, when you look at who else.
That's why I'm saying it's a bold prediction. It's a bold prediction.
And I think you're wrong.
Oh, I probably will be, but imagine if they do.
If you're right, I'm going to fucking, like...
Yeah, imagine. But that's my bold prediction of the year, that the Buffalo Sabres make the playoffs as a top 3 seed in the Atlantic.
My bold prediction, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to get no further this time in the cup race than they did last year.
I thought you were going to say, my bold prediction is Chris is a fucking idiot and he's going to be wrong.
No, can I go back in time? I'll say that instead.
She's like, no, I want to turn this around.
Also, if he's not wrong, do we have to like find a way to kick him off the show, because we will never hear the end.
We cannot have another Dave.
Enjoy doing the show without the producer.
Absolutely not.
I feel like the only way is
going to have a good showing this year. I think that's something we've talked about, that Detroit is really going to.
Yeah, I do think
we're going to see massive improvement out of that club.
I think Pittsburgh wins the Metro.
I think Pittsburgh should go fuck themselves.
Wow. She was like, no, I'm super happy with what they were doing with their season ticket holders. Now she's like, no, they can go fuck themselves.
No, so I was telling these guys off air that over the summer I found one thing, and I legitimately, like, I saw it on Facebook, and I went to my car, and I'm like, goddamn fucking Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Hate them with a passion.
You're holding a 30-year-old grudge.
Listen, let's make it fucking 40, bitch.
Core fucking memory, okay? Core memory when they stole the Stanley Cup.
I watched my team lose in 2003 in the Stanley Cup, and I got over that.
Okay. You're not me, clearly.
Good for you. I'm glad you have forgiveness in your heart. I have hatred.
Yes,
fucking
I only
whiskey.
have a hatred.
I too usually have whiskey in my heart too, to be fair.
But no, so the one really cool thing that they do, for anybody that doesn't know, although it did blow up on social media this summer, is that Pittsburgh's players hand deliver the season tickets to season ticket holders. Right. Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Makes my heart happy. Go fuck yourselves, Pittsburgh. Like, how dare you? The sheer audacity to do something so goddamn sweet to your season ticket holders to make me want to actually not loathe you with every fiber of my being, but with like still 80% of the fibers of my being. The sheer audacity for you to do that.
I mean, that's a lot of fiber, by the way.
Unheard of.
Here's a question I want to pose for you guys.
Yeah.
Do we think we see the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals again this year?
No.
I don't think this year.
I don't think
Maybe,
I don't think they do
but I don't think so. No. I would love it. I mean, I like watching Vegas play.
They're going to get a cup run for sure.
Yeah.
They're going to make it into the playoffs.
I would love to see Seattle make a run.
Agreed.
If they can build on the momentum they had last year.
Yeah.
They were great last year.
Yeah, if they can keep it going, I would love to see Seattle make a run.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's in the cards for this year. Like, it's just so hard to know, because you can't even go off of it, like, based on preseason play, you know?
Right. No, because we're not seeing
like the atmosphere, the locker rooms are always different in regular season. Like, everything just gets to be different.
Although, if we do go off of preseason play, I just beat the Boston Bruins, so that means I'm doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, you guys just won in overtime.
We did.
So I guess speaking on like all bias aside and all jokes aside, how far do we actually see the Penguins being able to go? They loaded up this offseason.
Decently far.
I'm going to say second round.
I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable, actually.
If we look at their history, they have a history of, winning the cup.
Either they win the cup or they fall out in the first round.
Exactly.
It's cup or bust for Pittsburgh all the time.
And unfortunately, they made some massive moves. I mean, we talked about them, but they also lost Bergeron. They lost their fucking glue.
And
so
the Bruins.
They've now now we're seeing somebody else step up into his spot and his leadership position.
Yeah.
But is it going to be the same? Has it fundamentally changed the dynamic of the Pittsburgh Penguins? I don't know.
Bergeron played for the Bruins.
That's not who you're talking about?
No. We're talking about the Penguins.
No.
But that does segue me into asking
I
about
100%,
the Bruins.
They lost
100% thought you were talking about the Bruins.
No. Yeah. But
they did lose a big name. Though,
I thought you were talking about the Bruins because of how great their season was last year.
No, the
Penguins shit themselves, so why would I talk about them?
Because with what
they built,
the
moves they've made, they've
that's why I was asking how far do you think they go? Do you think
I don't listen well?
No. Here's a question about the Bruins. Do you think that they make the playoffs this year?
My response about the Bruins stands, by the way. They drop on the second.
No.
The Penguins go decently far this year.
I don't see why not.
I think they almost make it. Or minimum of first round or second round.
I think they're a dark horse for the cup if everything goes well, no injuries, and they play the way.
Never a dark horse. Let's be honest.
Compared to from last season,
the Penguins win the cup and nobody's fucking shocked by it.
It's because
you have matter how they play.
Because you have three, I guess now 4 future Hall of Famers on that team. You know.
I don't even think that matters.
They're just good.
Argument. They suck the life out of me on a daily basis.
God, you just so full of hate.
I am full of hate towards them, and I don't even really know where it comes from.
I love it though. I'm here for it. At least I'm not the only one.
I'm just glad they're not in our division and we don't have to play them repeatedly.
I'm the non-hateful one that sits back.
This is why we'll never get a Pittsburgh Penguin on our podcast, but low key, all right. Also, if any Pittsburgh Penguins do want to come on our podcast because of how much
you're more than welcome.
Please do.
I'll be the only one asking you nice questions.
Because at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, we're all hockey.
Oh, this would that would be so cool.
That's an organization or a team as a whole.
And I'm only giving you guys
but
shit.
I can appreciate the skill individual players have.
I'll ask nice questions, but then I'll also tell you that I hate your organization from a molecular level.
Why did you choose to sign with the Penguins? Why didn't you choose to sign with any other team?
Yeah, go any fucking where else. Don't go to Chicago, don't go to the Penguins. But my hatred for Chicago goes because they're division.
Yeah. And they're also a gross organization, yeah.
They're just a terrible organization.
Which, as a kid, though, where my hatred for them started before, you become privy to all of the bullshit that they pull, was a lot of other reasons.
So let's address the elephant in the room, the real question that we need to ask.
Me? Why do we need to address me?
Okay, your words.
I would never.
No. Who are you guys picking to win the cup?
Oh, I'm not picking that. We haven't even gotten to a regular season game. Our rosters aren't even.
As much as I would love to fucking throw out Winnipeg.
Girl, if Winnipeg wins, you better go get yourself a lottery ticket.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, in a year when the season, roughly a year when the season's over, if Winnipeg has won, I will buy a lottery ticket. And it'll be whatever one this week is that my numbers would have actually won it. But no, it's too hard right now to decide. Yeah, I'm always going to say the Wild. The Wild deserve to win a cup. I would say that about there are so few teams that have never won a cup in the franchise history that aren't brand new teams.
Yeah,
that are newer than us.
Look at the fucking Maple Leafs. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1969.
But hey, at least they won one.
Won one though.
Well, they've won a few, but
yeah.
Minnesota's never won a Stanley Cup. It's the fucking state of hockey.
Yeah. Which is a shame, truthfully. Yeah. I think I would love
honestly,
to see...
like, being that Minnesota produces such a high number of hockey players that go on to the NHL, that go on to win Stanley Cups, the fact 16. That Minnesota has never won a Stanley Cup is a crying shame.
Can you believe
I'm sorry. It's getting late and I'm getting fucking spicier than spicy. Yeah. I apologize.
Can you believe, though, I mean, we're the 30th year without a Stanley Cup winner in Canada? 30 years ago. Canada.
Oh.
30 years it's been since a Canadian team has won. Yeah, the Whalers were shit, bro. The Whalers weren't even close to winning a cup.
I'm not surprised by that fact.
They were real bad. 30 seasons.
I mean, they were kind of
good. Let's make it 31.
Were they an NHL team? The Whalers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
before our time.
No.
Yeah.
The Whalers were a team until 1997.
I've never lived in Connecticut. It's not...
The Whalers were a team until 97.
That's before my time.
Yeah.
I was born 6 weeks ago.
I was born last week. I'm a robot.
The thing is, I want Canada to continue to not win cups because it is genuinely the funniest thing to me.
It is really funny.
I applaud all of their teams, particularly the Vancouver Canucks, for self-imploding to a point where that can continue to happen.
Right?
I mean, let's be real. The only Canadian team that's got a legit shot is the Oilers.
And even then,
you're just relying on
Oilers
McDavid.
Have Draisaitl.
Yeah.
They have Draisaitl.
They have Evander Kane.
Like, do anything. What is happening, Canada? What is happening?
That's the Gretzky curse. They haven't won a cup since they traded Gretzky.
Oh, well, bring them back. Can you imagine if Gretzky unretired for a day?
He'd still never be able to lift the puck.
It's so fucking funny. Right. That would be amazing.
He still wouldn't be able to lift the puck.
Also, when I was doing my fantasy draft, Jaromir Jagr was an option. I could have.
Yeah, I saw you say that.
Yeah, he's still technically listed as an unrestricted free agent in the United
Like at what, 50? He's 52 or 54 or something.
Yeah. He owns the team
and he's
in
now
the Czech Republic.
Yeah,
he's being coached by someone that was like coming into the league as he was going out.
Yeah.
It's insane. I love it. Also, shout out to Jagr. If you ever want to come on the podcast,
oh please come on the podcast. You are a gem, and we need you.
You are legitimately a gem.
This is
also just want to point out too. Bill Guerin, our GM for the Wild, was listed like number 2 on the list of best GMs in the league.
Oh hell yeah!
I believe it.
Which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
you guys made some bad money moves, but I believe that he's a good dude.
Well, and I get I understand why he did it when he did it.
Right.
I just wish it didn't have to have lasted as long as it did. Like,
yeah. No, absolutely.
It's been going on for fucking ever now. But yeah, I just thought that was cool. I was like, hey, attaboy.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Bill.
Well, do we have any other predictions?
Yeah, I bet you Anaheim's in the runner for the fucking lottery again.
And they'll lose it?
Yeah, likely.
Doesn't deserve it. Yeah.
To the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
God.
Anaheim's gonna win one fucking game this year and still get screwed out of the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Which honestly would be
first team in the history of the NHL.
Anaheim play. Yeah.
I think we'll
enjoy watching Anaheim play.
I think we'll make a step forward this year. Because last year was unacceptable. It's a rebuild year.
I mean, but the help,
but the help of adding Leo Carlsson and bringing in the veteran players that we brought in, I feel like Anaheim's going to do a little better than last year. It's going to be a stepping stone.
Yeah. I think that's it for the predictions I had.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Other than, I think we're going to continue to watch Tampa Bay decline.
Maybe.
I'm not overly upset about that. Let's be honest.
I don't think they're going to decline too much, but they're not going to be a cup threat this year.
They're not going to be making deep cup runs for another few years. So,
I will admit, like, I'm excited to see what Detroit can do. I hope that they can do something because they, like I said last year, they were making good. The Devils too. I'm kind of excited to see what they can do.
They're in my
They
division.
were strong last year. They were very strong
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I want to see if they can
so
build on
I
that.
think that they could go far. I mean, I don't think that they would like take it, but I think that they could go further than they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that we haven't heard from in a while. The Wild too are one. Like the Wild haven't done much in years past, but like even Foligno, when he re-signed, he said, I think that we have the ability to win a Stanley Cup before my contract is up, like his new contract.
This top 4
and Pat
lines
Maroon said the same thing
for Detroit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
First line, DeBrincat, Larkin, Lucas Raymond. Second line, Michael Rasmussen, Andrew Kopp, David Perron, Robbie Fabry, JT Compher, Christian Fisher. Even your fourth line, Jonathan Berggren, Joe Veleno, and Daniel Sprong. That is a very, very solid top 4.
Yeah.
Defense, you got Jake Wallman and Moritz Cedar, Ben Sherratt, Petrie.
Yeah, I can't hear
Shane
what you're saying.
Yeah, my mic it's late. My mic's being stupid.
Yeah.
But like, no, it's a very solid team that they're building here.
It is. It absolutely
is. If you guys want to get in on the question of the week, you can hit up us. Hit up us.
Do it.
Hit us up on our socials. Hit us up in the comments.
Hit up us.
Yeah, your boy. It's sleepy time soon. It's your boy wanted to go night night like 6 hours ago. I guess all that's left is our obscure NHL player of the week.
Let's fucking go.
This week we have a more recent player. Andrew Campbell was drafted 74th overall in the 2008 draft, drafted by the Kings. And he only has 42 games to his NHL career.
Okay.
Love it.
He also most notably played 3 games with the LA Kings in 2013, 2014.
Okay.
Do you guys any guesses on what they did that year?
Did they win the show?
They won it all. Yeah, that it was their second.
They won the World Series.
Who would have guessed?
I know who would have guessed. It's not like it's a theme.
He scored a touchdown and won the...
kicked it. Yeah, and ran it in for a field goal.
Yeah.
Scored a touchback.
Most notably in his career, the longest run he had was 33 games in 14-15 season with the Coyotes, scoring an assist. He finished his career with 2 assists and only 12 penalty minutes.
Oh, that's a disappointment.
He was a good boy.
He was. Spent most of his career in the AHL. I hate good boys.
Did you say I hate good boys?
Yeah.
Me too.
He retired in 2019. Last played with the Rockford Ice Hogs. Only 35.
You know what? I love that name though, the Rockford Ice Hogs. So that's
I know that
shout out to them.
That is a great name. Andrew Campbell, congrats! You are our obscure NHL Player of the Week.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Indeed,
there will be no questions or autographs signed.
I'll sign autographs. I don't know what the fuck these guys are talking about. You want my autograph? Fucking sign my autograph.
I'll fucking do it.
I forgot to show you. I have Cap with me too. In my little.
I love it.
Ooh. His stick broke though. So I have to.
If we're showing cool memorabilia, this is a puck from the Anaheim Ducks 20th season, and it is signed by both Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf.
Oldest fuck. I remember before the Ducks were a team.
I was a year old.
That just hurt my heart.
Well, their 20th. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. So this puck sits proudly on my shelf.
That's awesome.
I had a puck once, and then I gave it to my brother as a gift.
Yeah,
a nice sister.
That's very nice. It's very nice.
TJ Oshie signed it actually.
Ooh, the Osh.
Osh man.
That's
Osh babe.
Osh babe.
I do. That's what we call him, Osh babe.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he looks like he's
because he's hot as shit.
Yeah, and he's like almost 40. And he doesn't
he's
look
got
like
really
he's
good hair.
Yeah.
He does have good hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an American sports hero. All those goals he scored in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Anyway, I think that is about it for this chaotic return. But would you expect anything less from us?
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy the new look, the new sounds, the new feel. We wanted to mix it up this year and change how we did things. Even with the new logo and everything. It's
always important to grow and change.
Oh, of course. The only constant in life is change.
Yes.
That
yes. Dr. Freud. I don't know.
And props to Dee. She
and
finished.
So
I was gonna say she killed that drink too. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, you guys are ready to take this ride with us this season. I'm ready. I'm ready for some hockey.
Let's do
ready for my team to disappoint me for 82 games this season. If you guys aren't following us on our socials, make sure you do that. That'll be in the description below. As well as, like, if you're not, maybe like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Also, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you're excited about, what you think your teams are going to do, who you think is going to win the cup. Anything else we want to add before we go?
I'm good.
I don't think so.
All right. Until next time, you guys, we will see you motherfuckers in the face-off circle.